Yeah, you were probably wondering how come I didn't get a prediction video out. Well, to be honest with you, I didn't want to jinx anything because, yes, this title is 100% accurate. I was at Forbidden Door, my first AEW pay per view live, and what a blast it was. I think I saw one of the sites coming in. For an instant review earlier. I'm trying to remember exactly what they said, but like somewhere along the lines of a huge franchise success, etc. I couldn't say it better. That show was so freaking hot. The crowd was crazy. Was it a perfect show? No, it wasn't a perfect show. But if you saw any of it, you know. I'm going to do my best with this. I got to say a few things now. One, I'm going to do my best to recollect my best memories from this show, as a lot of wrestling happened. I can't remember everything. Two, this is only going to be what I care about. Three, let me know in the comments below. Did you see Forbidden Door? Did it do it for you? Let's go. I am happy to say I got there at the right time, because there was a bonus match outside of the 0 hour, the buy-in, so to speak. It had Tom Sawyer, who was originally set to fight Adam Cole. The one downside of the pay-per-view, Adam Cole apparently has some unspecified illness at the moment. He was announced off the card just a little bit before the show started. I was very confused why Sawyer was coming out before. I'm thinking, wow, if they're really just trying to do a bonus match, why are they having one of the guys who's set to wrestle? Oh, wait a second, something up with Cole. Sad to miss Adam Cole, hope he's okay. But Sawyer beat, pardon me, it's Lawler, isn't it? I don't know why. Somebody botched the name and it's sticking in my head. But either way, Tom beat Serpentico in a nice little match. Nothing too crazy, but a nice free-for-all match. But the bonus was the one thing I didn't think I was going to get on the show, Christian Cage. I have no idea if this was before 0 hour or not, because I don't think it was. Christian Cage came out to address us just for a few minutes and put Toronto down once again with his new TNT championship, with Tony Khan introducing him. It was a fun segment and worth going, because you guys know I'm a big Christian fan and I was happy to see him once again, even though he's not wrestling. But on to the 0 hour. Happy to see the Embassy win a freaking match for a change. I love Brian Cage, and Swerve, outside of this bland, nowhere character development, is still a great wrestler. They beat the Best Friends along with, oh Lord, what's his name? I know Rocky was teaming up with Trent and Chuck. Who was their partner's name again? I'm trying to remember. I got to go to my results list, because there's no way I'm going to remember everything in full. El Desperado, that's who it was. So it was a nice match. The crowd was hot for it. It was a good way to start off on 0 hour. And Brian Cage finally gets a freaking win. He's one of my best friend's favorites and is so disappointed in how he's being used right now, as am I. So it was nice to see him actually win a match, even though he didn't get the pin. Fun way to start. Athena then won her Owen Hart tournament quarterfinal match against Billy Starks, I believe. That was a nice little match. Those two did their thing, but I wasn't expecting an upset. I was hoping Athena would get it, and she got it. Fun match. El Phantasmo showing up was hot. It was good to see him. I completely forgot he was set to be on the show. Some good history with him. Happy to see him back as a babyface, defeating Stu Grayson, who I almost forgot even left the Dark Order. I don't know if that's going to go anywhere with what he's doing. But El Phantasmo won. It was fun to see him. He's a hell of a wrestler and hella underrated talent. I hope he sticks around for a bit, if you know what I mean. But then I guess the main event of the buy-in, Takahashi, good to see him. Shingo and Bushi, I'm pretty sure. I'm going off on this. I think it was those three beat United Empire, TJP, Kyle Fletcher, and Jeff Cobb. That was a fun little match. I was hoping to see Cobb do a bit more. I will say that, though, as did one of my friends. I don't really think there was anything else to note on the kickoff. It was just some good wrestling. Yeah, it was nice to have wrestling instead of filler for most of the hour. Now let's get to the main show. We started off MJF Tanahashi. I wasn't excited for this match, and this sort of explained why. Yeah, the crowd was going crazy for MJF back and forth. I was flipping him off most of the match, and this match was just fine. It was okay. It wasn't. I didn't think it was anything too crazy. It was good to start the show, and MJF actually did win the way I predicted him to win. I thought they were going to do MJF Okada on the show. They didn't. I was ready for MJF to beat him with the stupid ring, but he beat Tanahashi with the ring, and the life continued. I'm surprised, though, this is the one time he doesn't come out with his whole devil in the chair entrance that he's been doing lately on pay-per-views. Didn't feel like doing it for this one, huh? So, yeah, whatever. It was expected. Nothing too crazy on that. Then Punk and Kojima. That was a nice little match. The crowd obviously was booing the crap out of Punk. I think I was lucky. I was sitting in a good area of a few Punk fans, because now I really don't have any too much regrets toward any of those folk. If we can just stop acting like 2-year-olds, let's get on with our lives here. Punk played it all pretty well, and it was good. Yeah, it was good. Again, it was similar to the MJF match. This one was just good. It was all right. Punk won. Advances in the Owen Hart tournament. Curious to see if he's going to be fighting Roderick Strong or Samoa Joe. We'll find that out, I believe, on next week's Collision when Strong and Joe have their Owen Hart tournament match. Then we get into hot stuff. The first real banger of the actual show. I'm not counting the Embassy's win on the buy-in. The fatal 4-way for the AEW International Champion. This is one I was a little bit worried about, but I had in the back of my head, no, he's got to win. He's got to win. I don't see him losing this unless Garcia pulls an upset. Orange Cassidy, Garcia, the pure champion. What's his name? Is it Shibata? I think it's Shibata. And Zack Sabre Jr. Fun match. Stupid wrestling at times, but for the sake of stupid wrestling, and they played it so beautifully. And then they got to the serious parts. Oh my gosh, I was so scared when Sabre was stretching the crap out of everyone and ready to just break some arms. But Canada's champion, the man I saw live last year on Dynamite in Toronto win that championship, was able to retain said championship. He came back in the ring at the right time and got a lovely crucifix to retain his championship title. But MVP goes to Garcia. He was doing his stupid dance most of the match, and the crowd was loving it where I was sitting. Oh my gosh, he was hysterical in that. They gotta give him something else though, man. Garcia's still fantastic. Loved it. Canada's champion remains intact. The best championship reign in AEW right now is Orange Cassidy. It's just a fact. And then we went from not so interesting to I understand why. Sonata and Jungle Boy. I wasn't crazy about this being announced either. I remember watching the show the week before thinking, open challenge, who's it going to be? I don't want it to be Jungle Boy. And then they announced it was Jungle Boy. But this match was okay. I was hyped to see Sonata. The finish was flat. For anyone who didn't know, Sonata's thing is a moonsault. The crowd reacted sort of surprised where I was sitting that was it. We thought maybe it would go on a little bit longer. But then you figure out what the whole point was. It wasn't for this match. After, and they dragged it. They dragged it. On the top of the ramp, Jungle Boy turned on Hook. Oh my God, loved it. Loved it. We were all going crazy in there. It started out with cheers, then boos so quickly. And I love how pissed all the Hook fans were that one clothesline took him out. I was so happy to see that. I've been sick of Hook for freaking months now. Jungle Boy finally gets something new to play with. I hope a heel turn is what he needs in wrestling right now. Christian worked so long with him, but nothing good came out of that whole outcome. Teaming up with Hook? Who cares? Jungle Boy's a phenomenal talent, and I love to see where this is going to go. Love to see where this is going to go. That was hot, AEW. That was a hot decision. And then, this match, in my opinion, was a sleeper. This woke up. The 5-on-5, the Elite with a few friends versus the BCC with a few friends. Eddie Kingston getting all the pops. Him and Moxley stare down, just freaking the crap out of us in their chop fest while everyone's doing their flips. This was a fun tag match. There's no better way to describe it. We were all going nuts for this match. And even more surprised to see Ishii actually get the pin. Yeah, he freaking pinned Yuta, and that was the most pissed I've seen Moxley disappointed in Yuta. So I'm a bit worried in that sense, but it was smart booking considering the results later to come. Otherwise, I would have thought the BCC were going to get this one, especially because Kingston really still couldn't make up his mind about the whole Moxley situation. He took the bullet for Moxley and ate some super kicks from the Bucks. Partners or not, there's still a relationship with Moxley and Kingston that needs to be drawn out a bit more. But anyway, we then got to, unfortunately, one match that really didn't impress anybody, including myself. When Toni Storm and Willow's graphic popped up on the Tron, the entire arena depleted. It was so sad to see them go, but it brings me back to this point. This women's division is suffering because of this whole NWO with Saraya, Ruby, and Toni. It's bad, it's the same thing every week, and it makes the baby faces look so incredibly stupid. The heels always come out together. Why is a babyface coming out by herself? It didn't work. It didn't work. It was sad to see. The match itself was okay, but it wasn't anything more than okay. Toni Storm retained as expected. But then we get to one of the marquee matches that everyone came to see, and I will say the rightful main event. Ospreay Omega. But no, you had to throw a twist. Ospreay came out to Elevated. That surprised the hell out of me. I couldn't believe it. We're billing him as the biggest heel in Canada right now. I guess aside from MJF, but MJF didn't even talk or put down Bret Hart tonight. But Ospreay comes out to Elevated. I lost any sense I had in that point. I was singing at the top of my lungs, and we weren't even up to Judas yet. We'll get there. And the main event. But Elevated was back. I love that song, and I loved the match even more because, of course, Omega comes out to his New Japan theme, and these two just tore it down. This match kept the crowd going. It destroyed Omega and Ospreay to do. But thank you for what you put yourself through. It's a match of the year candidate up there with Bryan and MJF's Iron Man match. I would have to say this was better. I was there in person for this. Clearly, we got the best deal ever with this match. They were beating the crap out of each other. Ospreay was messing Omega up on the announce table, but Omega came back with that DDT on the stairs. That was nasty, including the gash he got in his back after, and Ospreay bleeding all over the place. Ospreay's playing the heel gimmick perfect. He's playing with the Canadian flag, doing all the crap that Shawn Michaels did in 97. And then Omega gets his revenge by choking the crap out of him with it. The match went exactly the way it should have been, spot for spot. Who's in control, and including that little pest Catalyst. I was surprised to see the referee eject Catalyst early, but there was one thing that I was a bit worried. I kept seeing these two security Catalyst was talking to, thinking, are we going to get interference during this? But no, it was a red herring, but what wasn't a red herring was the best false finish of the night. Callis given the screwdriver. I think he gave the screwdriver to Ospreay, unless Ospreay just had it. Ospreay using it behind the ref's back, and Omega gets his damn sliding forearm, get the Stormbreaker, but Omega got his foot on the rope. And let me tell you, if you know who I back, and you know me enough on YouTube, you know that the matches I came to see were this and the main event, and including the winners, I needed Ospreay and Danielson to win those matches, at least one of them. I thought for sure that was the finish. But when Omega got his foot on the rope, that's like one of those rare times I completely shut down. I was dumbfounded. The crowd was going bananas. My friend was shaking me, flipping me off. Some dude in front of me turned around to flip me off. It was just one of those moments where my soul almost left the body. But Omega couldn't do it. Ospreay did it. Ospreay gave him more of the beatdown, and sooner than later, even though Omega kicked out of a one-wing angel, Ospreay hit him with the one-wing angel. Omega kicks out of one, the building goes even crazier. But Ospreay got that second Stormbreaker, 1, 2, 3, middle of the ring, no debate. Ospreay wins. He beats Omega in Canada. He does it for me, and he wins back the United States Championship. Oh, what a blessing that match was. It's not going to get any better than that. Right? Well, let's move on to what, in my opinion, did not need to be second last. Chris Jericho, Minoru Suzuki, Sammy Guevara, Les Suzuki Gods taking on Naito, hot to see Naito, Sting, and Darby Allin. Sting and Judas was great, considering Jericho shafted us in October when he came out to his Lionheart theme. But at the time, it made sense, and it was built to make sense. But there was no debating this. It was great to sing Judas in person in the crowd. It was so hot. The match itself, though, it was okay, but it got a bit nerve-wracking. Darby took a Judas effect jumping out of the ring and did not get back up. That was a bit scary. Sting took, I believe it was either it was either a shooting star press from Guevara or a 450, or maybe a 630, through a table on the outside, but it looked like Sting was supposed to move and he didn't move in time, and that messed him up throughout the match. And the finish felt a bit flop when I think it was just a few tag moves that ended up with, I want to say it was Naito pinning Suzuki. Although I will say this, the best part of the match for me was when Les Suzuki Gods all posed together and the camera actually got it this time. Unlike Dynamite, stupid Kevin Dunn-esque shots in AEW. But yeah, it shouldn't have been second last. The crowd was exhausted. We did our best with this one, but this should have maybe been second in the show. I agree with MJF being the opener, but this should have been second. Again, if I'm missing stuff, I apologize, but I had to get this out of the way now. I have not rewatched the show, and I don't plan to until I can really clear my head of everything. That's why I'm letting it out now. Main event time. Oh, sweet mother of God, I've been waiting for this since he came to AEW, and of course I'm in the building where we got the final countdown. Bryan Danielson came out to Final Countdown. It was incredible. It was one of the most surreal moments. I thought Elevated and Judas were going to be it for that night, but no, Danielson gets Final Countdown. Oh, the emotions of that were unbelievable. And this is where I'm going to lose some of you. The match was there. Yeah, it may be due to the fact, and I believe Bryan did admit this afterward during the interviews after the show, that he did not want this to go on last. He didn't want this to go after Omega and Ospreay for good reason. Because, yeah, there were those factors that should have made folk realize that this wasn't supposed to be last. Omega and Ospreay outdid everything on the show, rightfully said. So this match wasn't that hot. But one thing I will say that made me incredibly happy to note, I once again solidified my fact. Danielson did most of the work. Overrated Okada strikes again. And one of my best friends, he was never a huge fan of Okada to begin with, but he definitely understood everything I meant with this match. I'm sorry, but that's just how I feel, and this match solidified it for me. Danielson did most of the work when it came to building the match and getting the intensity from the crowd. Okada did like maybe his 4 moves, but overall, it was really just cheering for Danielson and watching him just kick his effing head in and stretch the crap out of him. But then the finish just happened. I didn't think I was going to get it, but I got it. I did get what I want. Okada tapped. Clean. Danielson made him submit. After just modifying the label lock by just destroying this man's arms, Okada tapped, and Danielson gave a great speech after the show about not hearing Final Countdown since like 2009. Happy for us to be there and just giving us all the love he could. It was a great show. It wasn't a perfect show by any means, but it was certainly worth going to see live in person. Speaking of that, I will hopefully have another video for you guys later in the week. I'm going to Hamilton to see Dynamite as well, my second Dynamite in person. But I thought I might as well make a video and give you my thoughts on the pay-per-view. Straight to the point, what I liked, what I didn't like so much. But oh, the music and the wrestling. That's what it really was for me. Thank you, AEW. I had a blast with that. I am looking forward to seeing how Dynamite goes. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, let me know how you thought about it in the comments below. Was it worth your time? Was it better than last year's Forbidden Door? I would have to agree with that statement. But let me know what you thought. Was it worth it? Who were you rooting for? Did it go the way you thought it was going to go? It really went the way I thought it was going to go, happily enough. Keep it real, folks. We'll see you later. Final countdown, Elevated Judas on my next playlist.